This is your news report for the second stimulus check update and your stimulus package update as of Thursday, August 13th. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin reached out to the leaders of the Democrats to make progress on the stimulus package, and we'll cover where the Republicans and Democrats currently stand and what they're saying and doing. When it comes to President Trump's executive orders for the extension of unemployment benefits, most states, they're saying that they will not participate in the program. That means the benefit, the weekly benefit, would drop from $400 a week to $300 a week if you're in one of those states that do not participate. The weekly unemployment claims came in today at 963,000. That is down from the previous week of 1.2 million. So it's good to see those figures making progress. COVID-19 cases are back on the rise. This is your Thursday news report, and thank you so much for tuning in. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin reached out to the Democrats yesterday. This is the first contact that they've had since they've spoken about the stimulus package negotiations since last Friday. After their discussion, the leaders of the Democrats, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they issued a joint statement which says, "The White House is not budging from their position concerning the size and scope of a legislative package. Democrats have compromised. The administration still does not grasp the magnitude of the problem that American families are facing. We are willing to resume negotiations once they start to take this process seriously. The lives and livelihoods of the American people, as well as the life of our democracy, are at stake." The Democrats, they want the Republicans to spend more money. The leader of the Democrats in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, literally and repeatedly calls the Republicans stingy. The Democrats, they have compromised from their initial offer to spend $3.4 trillion. They compromised down $1 trillion to $2.4 trillion. The Republicans, their initial offer was $1 trillion. However, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, he's saying that the Republicans are willing to put more money on the table. The Democrats, they want the Republicans to meet them in the middle, and the Democrats, they want the Republicans to spend $2 trillion. Mnuchin says no. The reason why the Republicans are not willing to spend more money is best summarized by what Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin says. Mnuchin says the Democrats, they want the additional $1 trillion because they look at the next 2 years and they project losses. The Democrats don't think that the economy is going to open up. The Republicans do. Due to the conflicting opinions between the Republicans and Democrats, that's why both parties are not budging on their budgets. Mnuchin proceeded to say, if the Democrats are willing to be reasonable, there is a compromise. If Democrats are focused on politics, there won't be a deal. When Nancy Pelosi was asked whether the stimulus package will be delayed until September, she responded by saying, "I hope not. People will die." President Trump, he gave his opinion and said at a press conference, the bill is not going to happen because the Democrats don't want to talk about it. People keep commenting and asking when will the second stimulus check come. If the Republicans and the Democrats cannot reach an agreement, then there will not be a second stimulus check. There won't be a second round of PPP money for the self-employed and small businesses. And depending on how the executive orders go with the federal unemployment benefits, there might not be any further federal unemployment benefits. The Senate is currently in session and working, even though the majority of senators are at home in their respective states. So there's only a handful of senators in the chamber and during these daily sessions, so they're really operating on a skeleton crew. Analysts, they're saying that it will take bad economic data or a stock market crash in order to create a sense of urgency for the politicians to strike a deal on the next stimulus package. However, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow said there is little incentive to do so because the numbers are coming in very nicely. Unemployment claims are coming back down, jobs are going back up, There is a housing boom. There is a manufacturing boom. In economic news, the Labor Department, they release their weekly figures each Thursday. The amount of new people claiming unemployment came in at 963,000 for last week. This is down from 1.2 million claims in the previous week. There are currently 28.2 million Americans currently receiving some form of unemployment benefits. This is down from 31 million the previous week. The unemployment rate is currently at 10%, which is still worse than the peak of the Great Recession. Economists, they're warning that a lot of this progress was due to the stimulus package. And if there is no additional stimulus package, then it's going to hurt the momentum of this recovery. Regarding President Trump's executive order of the extension of unemployment benefits, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin did say that the program would begin in 1 to 2 weeks. However, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, he says a lot of things. Mnuchin said that the stimulus package, if you remember, Mnuchin said that the stimulus package would be reached and passed by the end of July. Clearly, that did not happen. Mnuchin also said that the Republicans and Democrats would come to an agreement by last Friday. Obviously, it didn't pan out like that. So Mnuchin says a lot of things. Experts, they're saying that the executive orders would need at least a month to kick in. That's the best case scenario if the executive orders do not get challenged in court. The funding from the executive order would be coming from a different source than the previous federal unemployment benefits from the last stimulus package. It's for that reason that the state systems, they need a different system. So according to the experts, in order for them to implement that system, it would take at least a month. Also, the executive orders, they're calling for the unemployment benefits to be $400. It's going to be $300 from the federal government, and it's going to be $100 from the state governments. Most states, they're saying that they don't have that $100. So it's looking more like if these executive orders do go through, then it's going to be a weekly federal unemployment benefit of $300 rather than the $400. But that depends on your state, what state you're in, and whether they will be chipping in that additional $100. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 news. Corona cases are increasing again. We broke our 3-day streak of being under 50,000 daily cases. We reported 56,000 cases yesterday. In a Georgia district, schools reopened schools on August 3rd for in-classroom learning. COVID-19 cases began to emerge within the school, and 1,200 students and teachers are now under a 2-week quarantine. A former Georgia teacher, Miranda Wicker, told the news that it doesn't look like this was a successful opening. That's the news for today. Please subscribe. I'll keep you updated. I'll save you some time, and I'll give you any advice when applicable. Thank you so much, and please stay safe.